Greenwich Public Schools Community Service Awards. Could everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'm proud to introduce for your listening pleasure the Western Middle School Chamber Orchestra under the direction of Mercy Valancourt. The Chamber Orchestra is made up of 6th, 7th, and 8th grade students who auditioned to be in this select group. They volunteer their time to come and rehearse in the morning, and this is the first year that Western Middle School has had a chamber orchestra. They will be performing 2 selections. The first piece will be Canon in D by John Pachelbel, and the second, a piece entitled Right at Stonehenge by Elliot Del Borgo. Thank you. hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed the Western Middle School Chamber Orchestra, and it is such a pleasure to have you here today. This is one of our favorite award ceremonies all year. It's so great to hear about the wonderful things all of our Greenwich Public Schools students are doing for their schools, their communities, the United States, and the world at large. So we're thrilled to be hosting this event today. And I would now like to introduce to you the Master of Ceremonies, our Superintendent, Dr. Betty Sternberg.
Thank you, Stacy, and it is delightful to be here. I can tell you that this is really one of the highlights of the year for all of us educators who know that it's not just the academic achievement of our students, of our youngsters, but really the ethical behavior, the giving back to community, the understanding that that's a very real important part of life. That this is a program that we know is so essential and wonderful. This program has been going on since 1986, and as you know, it honors students who have participated in service activities which help the school, the community, and the greater community. As you read the program and as you listen to the description of what the youngsters have done, you're really going to see that these kids are role models, and they'll help motivate others to become more involved in their schools and their communities. We're recognizing these students today by inviting all of you here, parents and school administrators and principals and teachers, and representatives of town government and other community leaders to join us in this terrific celebration. I wanted to recognize a number of important people in the audience, and I apologize if I miss some of you, but I see back there Selectman Peter Crumbine. Peter, if you'd stand and be recognized. First Selectman Peter Tessie. Board of Ed member, Dr. Susan Ellis. And of course, on the stage, we have our Board of Ed chair, Mrs. Nancy Weisler. And Dr. Ernie Fleischman, who I always say was my role model in my younger years, and is a person who really helped start this program, and we'll be talking to you more about the special award that's given to one youngster really in his name. So, without further ado, what I'd like to do is call on each of the principals. Each elementary principal, by the way, will have a student or students with him or her who represent the entire elementary school and what they do at the elementary school. Our middle school principals, our assistant principals, will be here, and they have selected one student from each of their schools in recognition of the service activities that they've participated in and the contributions they've made. And then at the high school, there will be one student receiving recognition from each of the houses, and then that one very special student who will get the Dr. Fleischman Award. So without further ado, let me call up first Mrs. Nancy Carbone, who's going to introduce the elementary principals and the work that we do.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It is my distinct pleasure to address you this afternoon and to honor the elementary boys and girls for their efforts to help their schools and their communities. The boys and girls from the 11 Greenwich elementary schools are representatives of their entire student bodies, and they continue the proud Greenwich tradition of fundraising and collecting, volunteering, and organizing organizing and participating in various events that benefit people other than themselves, both in Greenwich and in faraway places. A summary of these community service activities and events are included in your programs, and I invite you to take a moment to look at them and to talk to your children about them after the ceremonies are over. Now, examples of our community service projects include, but are not limited to, cleaning school grounds, collecting much-needed items like clothes, shoes, food, blankets, etc., getting involved with organizations like the Red Cross, Neighbor to Neighbor, Kids in Crisis, and the American Heart Association, to name a few, visiting with the elderly in senior citizen centers and nursing homes, helping out at local animal shelters, reading to younger classmates in one school, and participating in school activities that help others. It should be noted that community service benefits not only those who receive them, but also those who volunteer to help. Simply stated, community service is one of the most satisfying, fun, and productive ways to unite children and adults. And to the mothers and fathers in the audience, I want to remind you that your own volunteerism is a good example for your sons and daughters to follow. Now, why did these youngsters whom we are honoring this afternoon lend a hand? Because one, it feels good. The satisfaction and pride that come from helping others are important reasons to volunteer. When you commit your time and effort to an organization or a cause you feel strongly about, the feeling of fulfillment can be endless. Second, it strengthens the community. And when the community is doing well as a whole, its individuals are also better off. 3, community service is a great way for families to spend time together and to feel closer. And 4, a person can learn some important things from volunteering, like having a sense of responsibility, knowing that one person can make a difference, learning that sacrifice has benefits, acquiring tolerance. Students learn that even the most diverse individuals can be united by common values. Developing job skills like working as a team member, taking on leadership roles, and setting project goals. And finally, learning to use one's time wisely. So on behalf of my elementary principal colleagues, I salute all the students present here this afternoon and those boys and girls whom they represent for their service to their community and to their schools, and I encourage you to stay involved in helping others in the future. Thank you.
Nancy, thank you for making so very clear what the meaning of this is. So now we're going to be calling up principals who will come up and bring their students with them. And we'll do this by alphabetical order by school. And the first school we'd like to call up is Cos Cob, and Mary Rose Diamond will bring her youngster with her.
Jack Seavey, a Cos Cob School 5th grader, is a member of Cub Scout Pack 10 and soon will become a Boy Scout. During his 6 years at Cos Cob, he has participated in numerous service projects, including collecting games and donating them to victims of Katrina, collecting food for local food pantries and homeless shelters, making Christmas cards for patients at Greenwich Hospital, decorating Christmas trees for people in convalescent homes, and collecting clothes and donating them to the homeless in New York. Jack's willingness to give both his time and energy to support his community has made him a tremendous role model for all of his peers. We are very proud of Jack and know that he will continue to set a good example for all. Thank you.
And Glenville School will be coming up. Mr. Mark D'Amico.
Symbols are a very important part of any organization, and schools are no exception to this. Symbols are used to define what an organization feels is important to them, what they value, and want others to know about them. Commonly in schools, you will find awards and plaques and banners in recognition of academic excellence and individual accomplishments. Yet symbols can also be representations of one's actions. I proudly stand beside two important symbols of what Glenville School deems as important: developing and fostering youngsters as they define themselves at school and within their community. Matthew Rogers and Joseph Lanny exemplify the qualities that any parent, teacher, and principal would be proud to be seen as symbols of what our school wants others to know about us. Matthew and Joseph are kind and compassionate boys who recognize the importance of service and duty to others. Although I will not list all of their personal accomplishments, I will share with you what both boys shared with me when I asked them why they felt they would be the finest representatives, symbols of what Glenville School and community service means to us. They similarly stated that taking action to help others is a responsibility and honor, one that makes you feel good inside and makes you want to help whenever you can. Ladies and gentlemen, I proudly recognize Matthew Rogers and Joseph Lanny as the Glenville recipients for this year's Community Service Award.
And our next school up is Hamilton Avenue School, Dr. Damaris Rao.
Good evening, everyone. It is my pleasure to introduce you to Jennifer Roberto. Jennifer has been in our school all 6 years. She's a fifth grader. And Jennifer is a real role model of what a citizen should look like. She started at our school knowing very little English and now is one of our highest achieving students in the school. This morning I saw her at 7:30. She was there for a morning program. And I said, "Don't forget, today at 5 o'clock." She says, "Nope, 4:45 we're supposed to be there." So she's very, very responsible and has been elected to our student council for 2 years by her peers. Jennifer is an integral part of our student council. One of the biggest fundraisers they did this year was to collect pennies for the Leukemia Society, and I'd like to thank Jennifer for all her hard work and encouraging her peers, and also for being a good all-around role model for our students at Hamilton Avenue School. Thank you, Jennifer.
Next school up, International School at Dundee, Terry Rickey, principal.
Good afternoon, and I'd like to concur that this is a very special occasion and one that we all look forward to. Today, I'm very pleased to introduce Elizabeth Jones. Elizabeth is representing the students at the International School at Dundee. She is a fifth grader there, and she represents the best of what we have at ISD. At ISD, we have a commitment, a serious commitment to community service, and not only because it is a civic duty, but it is also required of our International Baccalaureate program, which is our magnet program. In addition to participating in the many events that we've had at ISD this year, I want to just share a little bit about what Elizabeth herself has done. In her young life, she's already started an impressive path to community service. Recently, at ISD's ice skating event at the Dorothy Hamill Rink, Elizabeth, who has a passion for Special Olympics, set up an information booth. And the purpose of the booth was to recruit children and adults alike to volunteer for Special Olympics. She's actually going to be teaching ice skating and working with young children with special needs through Special Olympics. And so we are very proud of her. And so I'm very pleased to have Elizabeth represent the students of the International School at Dundee. Thank you.
Next up, Julian Curtis, Nancy Carbone, principal.
It's my pleasure to introduce our two Julian Curtis student representatives, Jessica Logano and Alba Fernandez. Jessica is the daughter of Judith and Chris Logano and big sister of Max and Kyle. Alba is the daughter of Rianne and Esteban Fernandez and younger sister of Kala. Jessica and Alba are both fifth graders at Julian Curtis and members of our service club, which organizes most of the school's community service projects that are again concluded in the listing in your programs. Outside of school, Alba has been involved in numerous community service projects with Girl Scout Troop 50348. It should also be noted that both Jessica and Alba have helped others through their church, St. Michael's. When I first spoke to the girls about coming today, each one told me what her wish for the new year was. In Jessica's case, it was, and I quote, to donate $100 to freerice.com. And Alba answered, and I again quote, to donate money to the Paws Animal Shelter. These selfless New Year's wishes show us why Jessica and Alba were chosen by their teachers to represent our school at today's community service event. Thank you, girls.
Our next school up is New Lebanon School. Principal Jean Nitre will escort his student up here.
When I said I was nervous, Juan said he would speak for me if I wished, so. Each year, this Community Service Award ceremony reminds us of the accomplishments of our children and young adults and renew our hope for the future. Juan Garzon is a fifth grade student at New Lebanon School and is our student council president. And he is representing all of our students tonight. Juan has actively participated in every community service activity at New Lebanon. He told me earlier today that it just feels good knowing that I helped someone. As New Lebanon School moves forward on its journey to become an international baccalaureate school, we will continue to promote and expand opportunities for all of our students to contribute to and appreciate the benefits of community service and international mindedness, whether it's towards a neighbor across the street or an unknown child living in distress on the other side of the world. At school, New Lebanon students, under Juan's leadership, contributed money for Pennies for Patients and for the Leukemia Society. They will be providing leadership for our 3rd annual Morning Walk for Fitness later in the spring and our 29th annual Grandparents' Day. Locally, the Student Council collected 35 boxes of food and clothing from Neighbor to Neighbor back in November and December. And globally, the students participated in a fundraiser for UNICEF and also continued with our commitment to the CHAMPS program, the Children Against Mines program. And this program supports our efforts to train more dogs as mine-detecting dogs that will go into service in conflict-ridden areas of the world like Afghanistan, Somalia, and Lebanon. The new Lebanon school-sponsored dog, Shadow, is currently in service demining in Lebanon. Our new Lebanon School International Baccalaureate mission statement is one that we feel very committed to and are very emphatic that it captures who we are as a school community, but I believe it applies to every school in Greenwich. But I'll share it with you. The new Lebanon School community is proud to empower students with knowledge and to inspire them to become compassionate citizens of our ever-changing world. And tonight, our honored students have certainly inspired us.
Our next school to be honored is North Mianus. Bonnie Butera, principal.
It's my pleasure to introduce Claire Lochran and Lucas Delabate. They are both the elected co-presidents of our student council. The two teachers who run our student council say that Claire and Lucas have made their job very easy this year because of their commitment and sense of responsibility and dedication to leading North Mianus. They come to every meeting on time. They come prepared with ideas. They listen to the ideas of others, and they know how to bring the group to consensus. Two of their big efforts this year were to collect food and toiletries for kids in crisis and to collect canned goods for the Stanford Food Bank. At North Mianus, they are leaders in our North Mianus Grows Character program. And last but not least, they've boosted the morale of their school with our School Spirit Days. They're going to make wonderful leaders of the future. Congratulations, Lucas and Claire.
Our next school up is North Street School. Charles Smith is principal.
Good evening. On behalf of the North Street School community, I'm very proud to recognize George Chris as our award recipient this year. George has worked hard to support the Greenwich community through his church, the Boy Scouts, and, of course, the North Street School. He takes every opportunity to organize, participate in, and show leadership in the many service learning activities available at North Street School, including our ongoing support of the Hogares Luz y Vida Orphanage and School in Bogota, Colombia, and the Winship School in Boston, Massachusetts. George is a terrific young man, and I'm certain he will continue his good work when he moves on to middle school next year. Thank you.
Old Greenwich School is next. Tricia Ranieri, principal.
Good evening. It's an honor to be here and have with me Ryan King and Rebecca Powell from Old Greenwich School. At OGS, we believe that community service fosters a student's personal development, enables them to explore their humanity, builds leadership skills, and strengthens their sense of community. Our tradition of service involves not only students, but staff. Staff supervised the many service projects, and this year, the staff itself collectively engaged in 2 full days with Habitat for Humanity renovating homes. As a result, our students have learned that community service is a shared responsibility. This afternoon, Rebecca and Ryan represent the best that OGS has to offer. These 5th graders have participated in probably every community service endeavor we've had at Old Greenwich School, as well as their outside activities with their church and synagogue. They are compassionate and leaders among their classmates. I'm very proud of their efforts and know that they will be lifelong contributing members of our community. Thank you.
Parkway School is up next. Orla Bleakley is the principal.
I'm very excited this evening to introduce Joshua Soccer to all of you. Joshua was chosen unanimously at Parkway School as the 5th grader to represent our Kids with a Purpose organization. Kids with a Purpose is our student-driven organization where 5th graders work with parent and teacher volunteers to organize our community service events for the school. And this year, and actually every year since Joshua was in 1st grade, his first year at Parkway, he has been involved in every community service activity that Kids with a Purpose has done. This year, he was involved with Stand Up for Cancer, where students stuffed snack bags and raised $13,000 for that organization. He was involved with writing letters to soldiers in Iraq and Afghanistan and inspired his classmates to write over 340 of those letters and prepare Valentine's packages, and even encouraged them to write them in Spanish so we can use our new FLES skills that we're learning. And Josh has also been instrumental in encouraging the CHAMPS program, which we also participate in at Parkway School. So I'd like to congratulate Josh and say that he is a shining example of the students that we have at Parkway School and their commitment to community service.
And then last but not least, we'd like to call up Riverside School. John Grasso is principal.
This qualifies as a political announcement, but the short-lived presidential candidate Rudolph Giuliani was so wrong. Those of you who talked about community service, remember that? Come on, kids, got to read the newspaper. I'd like to introduce Margot Durima. Come closer. Margot is a member of our Leadership Council and was unanimously selected by her teachers to represent the spirit and community that is Riverside School. In honor of our 75th school year, all of the 525 students were challenged to perform 75 acts of kindness. They're well on their way to achieving that goal. Most recently, under the direction of Margot and the Leadership Council, the students raised funds to purchase uniforms for children of Tanzania. Through their efforts, 272 children will be able to attend school. It is with very mixed emotions that I stand here with Margot. This event brings her one step closer to leaving Riverside. She has been such a positive presence at our school. Mr. Mayo, here comes another very special young lady. Thank you.
And if we could just take a moment and clap for all the elementary schools, all the elementary students. Now we'd like to focus on the middle schools. And first one up is Central Middle School. Jo Frame will be escorting her student up.
It's my honor to introduce you to Victoria Yukish, who was chosen by the students and teachers of Central Middle School as a recipient of our Community Service Award. As Sue Stoga, our school psychologist who works with community service organizations at schools, said, Tori is an amazingly kind, empathetic student who is a friend and giver to all students, especially those with special needs. Tori has worked for 3 years with our community service organization, Just Cause. They do any project that needs to be doing. They clean beaches, they raise funds for classmates who need money, and every November they run a very large food drive, collecting food, sorting it, bagging it, and delivering it to over 100 needy families in Greenwich. Additionally, Tori has participated in the ARC Walk, raising money for developing disabled citizens. She's worked with tag sales, helping raise money for Dana's Angels, and money that is helped to raise medical awareness and to give medical assistance to students, to anyone with Niemann-Pick type C disease. And she participates in our school Circle of Friends, which allows bonding between the disabled and the non-disabled students. And she's a very active member in this, and in school and even outside of school works with these students. One of the teachers said, Victoria models by her example and leads other students to demonstrate kindness and compassion. Personally, I would like to say I believe she is one of the kindest people on the planet. It's an honor to present her.
Eastern Middle School, Ralph Mayo, Principal.
Wow, it's my great pleasure today to introduce Hale McSherry to you. Hale's a very unique young man. For Hale believes in helping others simply because it's a correct thing to do. Having served on Eastern Service for Others Committee for the past 3 years, Hale's helped to coordinate and implement a variety of service projects helping his community as well as other areas throughout the country. I think I need these. Through the United Way of Greenwich, Hale helped raise money for the American Red Cross by participating as a driver in the All-American Soapbox Derby. This took hours and hours of work preparing for this in the fall, but Hale felt it was not only fun, but a great way to help people who cannot help themselves. Throughout this past year, Hale has volunteered his services at the Old Greenwich Pumpkin Patch, the American Red Cross Blood Drive, and he's also helped organize a dance to benefit the Boys and Girls Club of Greenwich. In his spare time, Hale plays in the Eastern Middle School Orchestra, sings in our 8th grade chorus, and was the lead in our 8th grade play, Annie. I'm standing next to Daddy Warbucks up here. Hale also served on the Greenwich Public Schools Secondary Review Committee. And I have to say that as a member of that committee, his insights are often much better than the adults on that committee. Which is true. It's coming from the students, and he has some wonderfully great ideas about how we can go about restructuring our schools. So it's a tribute to him. But on behalf of Eastern Middle School, it's a great pleasure to give the Community Service Award to Hale McSherry this year. Thank you.
And finally, last but not least, middle school, Dr. Stacy Gross, Principal.
Congratulations to all of today's award recipients. Augustina Garabedian is a committed and enthusiastic member of her community. She readily participates in Western Middle School's many service opportunities. This year during the Thanksgiving food drive, she helped collect enough food to fill 2 trucks and a van, all to be donated to Neighbor to Neighbor. Augustina also helped to organize our school's Pennies for Patients campaign, raising almost $3,700 that was donated to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. In addition, she helped collect, organize, and tally donated books in Western's first ever Read Across America Day book drive, where over 4,000 new or gently used books were collected and donated to organizations within Greenwich. Augustina is also an active member of her church, the Greenwich Baptist Church. She participates in a variety of activities, including cleaning up local parks and neighborhood streets, delivering food to those in need, and cleaning homes for elderly church members. She also participated in the church's Fast for Famine in order to raise money for starving people in the Republic of Somalia, Liberia, and Zimbabwe. And in order to do that, she actually completed a 30-hour fast. Augustina's guidance counselor, Ms. Jennifer Hill, states, "Augustina is a student who always shows class. She's known amongst the teachers as someone who is willing to volunteer to help with a school activity or with a peer during class time. Augustina is an exceptional young lady. We are proud of her accomplishments, and I would personally like to say I think she is an absolutely wonderful representative of Western Middle School." Congratulations.
And again, before we move on, would you acknowledge the wonderful work of all our middle school students? And now we move on to the high school. I'd like to call up to the podium Alan Capasso, headmaster of Greenwich High School.
Thank you, and congratulations to all the recipients. At Greenwich High School, we promote a culture of caring. Our students go out of their way to help others. In their junior year, all students are required to complete a community service time as part of their civics course. And so all of our students at some point do contribute to the community. We have many students who give a lot more than what is done in our civics course. You're going to hear about 6 of these people this evening. They represent the best Greenwich High School has in the area of community service. It's always a difficult task when selecting these recipients because we have so many of our students spend the time in the community helping others. Greenwich itself has a culture of caring. I have been in other districts. I have not seen the level of commitment to community service that is present in the Greenwich Public Schools, and that is really a real attribute that we should all be proud of. At this time, I'd like to introduce the Bella Housemaster, Lorraine Termini, who will introduce her student.
Chrissy Barnum. Chrissy has been involved in numerous school and community service activities through the years. She has participated in the Signets Club in 9th grade, Imagine Peace Club in 12th grade, which she co-founded, YNET and Meals on Wheels in 10th, 11th, and 12th grades. Chrissy is also involved with the Trinity Church Youth Group and has taken trips to the Dominican Republic with the group. Ms. Wilson, the YNET advisor, stated that Chrissy is a dynamic young woman whose passion for this cause is well matched by a strong intellect and a grounded sense of humor. She has dedicated hours of her time outside of school to everything from chairing ex-com meetings and making T-shirts to attending meetings with state legislators and speaking at press conferences. Chrissy is already a leader, and I'm sure her leadership will only grow during her college experiences. Congratulations, Chrissy.
This time, I'd like to introduce Mr. David Ross, Housemaster of Cantor House.
I'd like to introduce to you Paul Finkelstein. Paul stands out in the crowd. He stands out because of his ready wit, his engaging smile, and his willingness to help. Music is an important part of Paul's life. In school, he participates in every ensemble that he can and holds leadership positions in 3 different musical groups. His contributions to the music program go far beyond participation. For the past 2 summers, Paul has worked countless hours without the support of a faculty advisor to make sure that the marching band is ready to perform for school events and games. Not only did he handle logistics and scheduling, he also ran rehearsals, created music, and conducted. Paul was committed to preserving the tradition and the integrity of the marching band. He also led the effort to gain community service credit for members of the marching band in recognition of the hours of work that they devote to preparing and performing at community events. Paul is also a member of NOTES, a club of musicians that serve the community by giving free music lessons at various elementary schools. One of the biggest contributions Paul has made to the Greenwich High School community was the work he did to create an entirely new event this year, the House Olympics. Paul and 2 other seniors made the initial proposal to the administration and then spent many hours bringing the idea to fruition. The planning included arranging a wide range of activities so that all students could take part, managing the logistics of moving hundreds of students from place to place in the school, and setting up a scoring system to determine which house was the winner. Throughout the process, Paul kept the focus on creating a way to make students feel part of the Greenwich High School community. Paul is appreciative of the opportunities he has been given and reaches out to others so that they may share these opportunities. His special qualities represent the best that Greenwich High School has to offer.
I'd now like to introduce Mr. David Walko, Housemaster of Clark House.
Good evening, and I'd first like to congratulate all the recipients this evening. And it is my honor to introduce you to Amanda Grunn. And I quote, "A reliable student, an active participant in various school activities, and someone who everyone considers a friend," states her guidance counselor, Ms. Shannon Kahn. Amanda has been an active leader in the school government since entering Greenwich High School. Her freshman and sophomore year, she was treasurer, and her junior and senior year, she was secretary. With the guidance of other board members, have done fundraising, planned some dances, successfully added a salad bar in the cafeteria. Amanda is also a stand-by-me tutor, which is paired with another freshman, and works with that freshman throughout the school year regarding homework, study skills, and time management. Amanda is also a Red Cross Safe Rides volunteer, which provides rides home for students on the weekend nights. She has been a GHS cheerleader on the Chamber Singers, a participant in school theater productions. Amanda has also helped and planned Greenwich High School's name day in each year that she's been at Greenwich High School. As a senior, she was on the member of the steering committee. Amanda is on the honor roll, a Clark House scholar, and a member of the Spanish Honor Society. Her guidance counselor continues, and I quote again, "One of the most thoughtful young women I have ever met. Amanda goes above and beyond what is expected of her in terms of her academics, clubs, outside school responsibilities, while always respecting others and thinking of their feelings first." Amanda Grunn.
I'd now like to introduce Folsom Housemaster, Mrs. Martha Zarna.
Folsom House's Community Service Award winner is Gia Vacarezza, and we are bursting with pride at her achievements. Gia is someone who helps in her school, in her community, and really walks the walk of community service. She's been a dedicated volunteer with the American Red Cross since middle school. She was, I guess some of you middle school kids will be back in 4 years. She was a pilot member of the Junior Youth Council and then moved to the Youth Council. Gia has held the youth position on the Greenwich Red Cross Board of Directors for 2 years. She's a Red Cross Safe Rides volunteer. She has been trained to teach HIV/AIDS education to health classes as part of the Open Eyes program. She has participated in the Red and White Ball for 3 years, the March for Measles since 2004, the Nathaniel Witherall Healthy Heart and Senior Prom. She's the editor-in-chief of our yearbook Compass. Great volume if you'd like to order one. And she's contributed to the yearbooks for each of her 4 years. She's also an accomplished viola player and guitar player. She's been in the orchestra for 4 years. You getting the idea? And is in the string ensemble. She's sung with her church choir, and she participated in the Electronic Music Composers Showcase. She's a longtime member of the Italian Club, president of the Italian Honor Society, and a member of the National Honor Society. She represents the best that Folsom House and Greenwich High School have to offer, and please join me in congratulating her.
And now I'd like to introduce the Sheldon House Master, Mr. Joe Russo.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you very much for being here. Sheldon House proudly presents Allie Karp as our Community Award Service winner this evening. Mr. Dubin, her guidance counselor, notes that Allie's a terrific young lady. There's a goodness about her that permeates her interactions with all those around her. She has a magnetic personality and an outstanding sense of humor. Allie's a valued member of the American Red Cross Safe Rides program, where she's a team leader and a training officer. She's adept at her responsibilities, which include organizing her team, arranging for adult supervision on premises at the Red Cross office during weekend nights, ensuring that calls are handled in a safe and effective manner, and enforcing all policies while keeping motivation for the program at a very high level. Allie's been a member of Greenwich High School Community Service Committee and a homeroom representative for the past 3 years. In both positions, she participates in and supports various service projects and student government activities throughout the year. Allie is an accomplished singer and has been a member of the Greenwich High School choral program for each of her 4 years. As a junior, she auditioned and was selected for the Greenwich High School Madrigals, and as a senior, she auditioned and was selected for the Greenwich High School Chamber Singers. Allie has volunteered for Art from the Heart since her freshman year, helping to raise money to redecorate rooms for children with terminal illnesses. As a sophomore, Allie became involved with the Friendship Circle, assisting families with children with special needs to a creation of peer relationships. Allie has taken a challenging program of study at Greenwich High School and has been recognized for her civic and academic accomplishments by being selected as a member of the National Honor Society. Her guidance counselor adds, she's a fair, honest, and judicious, and likes to get involved in helping people out in any way she can. Sheldon House is very proud of Allie.
as we finish off there, I'd like us to acknowledge the youngsters from each of our houses. And before we move on to most important part of this ceremony, I'd like to introduce to you Dr. Ernie Fleischman. And as I said, he's a man whom I know many people in this community consider a mentor and a longtime leader. I certainly, before I came to Greenwich, looked up to Ernie as one of the major and key superintendents in our state. He knows what's important, and it is because of him that this institution has been going on for 33 years. Without further ado, I know that he can be much more eloquent about this area, and I'd like to call him up and have him speak to you a bit and bring up our recipient of your award.
Thanks for those kind words, Betty, and for sustaining the award with the enthusiasm that I know that you have for it. I sit here and just have that tingling sensation, and I know that some of you have. I've watched not only the students, but I've watched you, and I think you share in the excitement and the passion and the pride. To the students, you inspire me. You're incredible, and I know you're just the tip of the iceberg. Because you know that there are many students in each of your schools who could have been up here, but you were selected, and that's wonderful. But you're representative of hundreds of students in this community who do this kind of work day in, day out. And to the parents, I'm going to have more to say in my very brief remarks. Thank you. Because you know, and so do your sons and daughters, the roles that you've played in their lives to date, and especially in their receiving these particular awards. And to the teachers and the administrators, it doesn't happen without you being there to inspire, to encourage, and to honor. They say, you know, what you inspect is what you get, but I would also say what you honor is what you value. We're in very exciting times. Community service is being recognized at the highest levels of our country and in our state, in our community. And at the end of the day, we all know it's not the amount of money you make. It's about the lives that you impact. And for those of us who've become teachers, that's why we do it. It's not about the money you will make. Money's good, it's nice to have, but at the end of the day, we'll be measured by the lives that we impact and our ability to improve those particular lives. The school system continues. It has a wonderful mission statement. It's putting it into action. The school system statement says high expectations and high achievement for all students, and then it talks about a second twin mission, which is caring and responsibility and compassion. And while we put these two separately, they're absolutely intertwined. Because as I've talked to some of the students, I had lunch with Headmaster Capasso and the award winners today, and what absolutely struck me as I heard them describe some of their projects is the fact that they were involved in planning them and executing them and engaging people in the community and in the school, and then ultimately evaluating them and then reflecting about what they've learned. And if that's not academic achievement of the highest order, I don't know what it is. It goes right to the heart of the school system. So both missions are met through community service. And we're in a time where AmeriCorps, 75,000 young adults involved and older people as well. It's going to be expanded to 250,000. President Obama has said that. Classroom Corps, you'll be eligible for it to go into classrooms and assist and tutor and teach younger students. Community service is being recognized. So it's a great time, it's a great day. At the end of the day, it's not about the money we make, it's about the lives we've impacted. So Matt, talk about impacting lives. Would you come up here, please? Matt Pluta. So I'll have something formal and then something informal to say about you based on our chat today. So Matt is described as a leader with a vision and a passion. And several of his teachers describe him as somebody who just loves to work cooperatively with others. He's an active and positive role model. You remind me of the Nike commercial, just do it. And that's what Matt does. You can tell that as you engage him in conversation. His major project has been with the Companions in Courage program. For 12 years, this organization has been dedicated to raising funds for children who need support in hospitals. And Matt has been a leader in setting up these rooms called Lions Dens in children's hospitals. He participates not only in raising the funds, but in visiting the children and seeing the work done directly. And he's talked about expanding this program. He has an absolute passion and commitment for doing this. And the executive director, who's watched Matt do this over the years, says he's courteous, dependable, reliable, and absolutely committed with a passion to these young children who've been hospitalized. He's also been involved with a program called Dana's Angels Research Trust, which works on the medical care and treatment of children who have Niemann-Pick type C disease. And again, he's executed, planned, run hockey clinics to raise money for these children. He's an assistant coach in that program, and he's been a coach for the Boys and Girls Clubs, a summer counselor at Camp Simmons. He's served as an assistant to the director of the town of Greenwich's youth hockey program. He's been a peer mentor. He served in a program orienting students in Sheldon House, and he has the academic credentials as well. And Matt says, I've learned that you're never too busy to help others. So I asked Matt, why do you do this? And he didn't look at me with disbelief, but he simply said, it's been ingrained in me that when my parents started out, they didn't have much. And they have more, but my parents have never forgotten that the major role in life is helping others who have greater need. And that's absolutely been internalized. And Matt, I don't know if your parents are here, but I know how proud of you they are and how you are so proud of them, because they've been the major contributor, but you've carried it out yourself. And then Matt starts modestly talking about a project at St. Roch's Church, where he is a member, and participating in the restoration of stained glass windows. And again, when I ask him, why do you do these things? It's like, why not? This is what I do. So Matt, you are a great example of community service, and I am so thrilled and proud to present you with the, I always stumble over this because I'm alive to give it, and it's not why I'm stumbling, but it's called the Fleischman Award, and I'm very, very proud that this award and check goes to a great individual, Matt Pluta. Great job.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And with that wonderful last statement, please join us for refreshments out there. And, I apologize. Mrs. Weisler, our board chair, wants to round up for us.
I want to extend my congratulations to all the recipients. I can't tell you what a happy occasion this is to hear all of the wonderful stories of the many acts of kindness that our students have done over the past years, and how proud we are of all of you. And I just wanted to conclude by telling you a quick story. Once there was a wise man who was planting a carob tree. Now, the thing that you may not know about a carob tree is that they're gorgeous to look at, and they yield really delicious fruit, but they take 70 years to mature. The wise man's foolish neighbor watched him toiling away and scoffed and said, "Why are you killing yourself? You'll never taste any fruit from that tree. You're wasting your time." The wise man answered, "You and I both eat tasty fruit from carob trees planted in our grandfather's day. If they had your outlook back then, that fruit wouldn't exist for us today. True, I will never taste any fruit from this tree I'm planting. I may not even know anyone who will taste this fruit, but at least I'll have the satisfaction of knowing that I'm helping to create something beautiful that will benefit the world in the years to come." And I think that's what each of you has done today. Here in Greenwich, I think we'd all agree that we live in a wonderful community that has gained beyond measure from the efforts of many people, many of whom are here today, many of whom have preceded us. And I want to heartily salute our honorees, who despite their youth have already learned the value and the joy of paying forward. May their admirable works be a model for us all. Again, congratulations. We'd like to ask all the honorees to come up in the front of the auditorium so we can take a few quick pictures and then join us for the reception.